Detroit's got a good basketball team, ladies and gentlemen. Despite not having it for the first three quarters, they turn it on, flip the switch. They end up running away from the Bulls to win at 108-93. A career night for Isaiah Stewart, who's standing by with Natalie Kerwin.
Isaiah Stewart, you were smooth like butter out there tonight. 31 points, a career high for you. How much fun is a game like this for you out there?
Oh man, it's very fun. We have guys out. It's next man up, and
like this for you out there.
Oh man, it's very fun. We have guys out. It's next man up, and gives you a chance to help move us forward on offense, and that's all I was trying to do tonight.
In a possession game where buckets are really hard to come by like this, how did you approach setting the tone with that in mind? Guys having to step up, and you had to be that guy here tonight.
Oh yeah, just go get it. Just go get it. That was on my mind. Be aggressive offensively, and try to just keep doing my thing defensively, and just push us forward and help propel us to a win.
Chicago likes to get out and run and set the pace, but they also prevented you guys from getting out on the break as well.
Yeah.
How much of a challenge was that?
It was a challenge. It was a challenge. They're trying to
It changed the feel of this game. How much did the bench come in and really provide a surge?
Man, it was great. That was the surge we needed. Like I said, next man up, down the line, everybody was hungry tonight to get that win, and I'm glad we was able to do that.
What do you continue learning about this group?
Say that again, Matt.
What do you continue learning about this group?
Just how bad we want it, man. We some dogs, man. We some dogs, and I like when we're down some mans because everybody come to play. Everybody come to play, and I don't think teams like to play against that.
You gotta love that. Welcome to Pistons Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. He's Grant Long. I'm Johnny Kane. That was Isaiah Stewart. Just another weapon for this team. He's always been a weapon, but when you plug him in, you know what you're getting on the defensive end. Tonight, just an absolute showcase offensively with the 31 points. We'll make him our Cure Auto player of the game. How special was that individual performance tonight?
Well, let's keep it simple, Johnny. We've seen Isaiah Stewart score like he did tonight. It was more opportunities to do what we've grown accustomed to from Isaiah Stewart. With Durham being out, Johnny, I thought it started with Isaiah Stewart. You have to understand that from a Chicago Bulls standpoint, Isaiah Stewart, to me, was the guy. If he beats us, then we'll live with it. He made him pay for it.
And they're living with it.
He made him pay for it.
Yeah, it's just incredible. And you heard him talk about, again, at the end of the third quarter is really when that energy surge started for the Pistons, and it was on the defensive end. We use our GMC Pro Vision to show you what we're talking about. But again, it was, I want to say you credit Chicago because they were able to get out and run. They were up for this game. They played well for three quarters. But they're at the tail end of the third is when the Pistons defense kind of shifted, right? They locked down. They were able to then get out and finally run, and then the Pistons were able to take control of the game all throughout the fourth quarter. But that was big. I'm not saying they turn it on, turn it off when they want to lock in, but some teams can never lock in. You can say, guys, we got to lock in. You're like, yeah, we got it. And then they never lock. Tonight, the Pistons locked it.
Well, the Pistons defense, they understand night in and night out that's what's going to be their calling card. Let's give the Pistons a salute right here because the Chicago Bulls are the second leading team in the NBA, scoring off the bench. And the Pistons shut them down in that regard. 46 points per game from their bench. The Bulls have 37 tonight. The Pistons really ramped up the defense to slow that down and how the Bulls impact winning. So I think you're right, Johnny. It was the defense that set the tone. There's a steal there. Getting out, turning defense into offense. That's also been the calling card for the Pistons. And again, to every man, there were some defensive plays that I saw in this ball game tonight that just made me scratch my head and say, wow, this team is definitely locked in on that end of the floor. And no matter what they're doing offensively, their defense is not going to suffer.
Yeah, they forced 17 turnovers by the Bulls. That was huge. And then sometimes when you're impacting a game, obviously double-doubles, a lot of times it's points, rebounds. And then when you look at points, assists, obviously Cade is so good at that. With Cade not being there today, they had to, kind of reach deep into their bullpen of point guards. Daniss Jenkins tonight maybe didn't score it at the clip that he did the other night against Cleveland, but 15 assists off the bench. He got everybody else involved. Those are our Xfinity highlights because Daniss Jenkins was an absolute facilitator tonight, and it was special to watch.
Tell me this guy doesn't continue to impress not only me, Johnny, but you and everybody else who gets eyes on this young man playing for the Pistons. He had a role. He had an assignment coming into the ball game. He didn't have to mirror Cade Cunningham. He just had to get everybody involved. He didn't do the scoring, which we understand he can, but he got everybody involved. Picked apart this Bulls defense. That's a nice out. This Bulls defense. That's a nice out pass after the penetrating dribble, sucked the defense in, and then made the accurate pass. Once again, he drew 2 defenders, finds his open teammates. This is the kind of assignment that Daniss Jenkins had coming into this ball game. When we talk about next man up mentality, this is what you see when you understand what your team is all about, and you go into a game and say, how do we win, guys? Night to night basis, how do we win? Daniss Jenkins kept the ball rolling with Cade going out. Cade is a high assist guy. Sure. Daniss Jenkins understood we need to get a high assist night in order for us to be successful, and he did that.
And the beautiful thing when you watch Daniss Jenkins play is the belief he has of himself. Again, second year in the league, spent a ton of time in the G League last year, still on a 2-way, but believe that he knows what to do and how he can orchestrate here at the highest level. It's just been special to watch. And again, maybe just scratching the surface of obviously a lot there. And we could talk about a lot of the guys. Before we go to break, I want to talk about Chaz Lanier because he played 5 minutes in the next game, kind of when the game was already decided. But in the 10 games prior to that, hadn't played. He's getting a lot of run down in the G League. And one of the things about being a head coach in this league, like JB Bickerstaff, when you don't always push the right buttons.
Right.
Now it helps when you have talent that you can just push. Okay.
Plug and play.
Plug and play. But Chaz Lanier come in today. You might look at a box score and be like, oh, we had 8 points. But he had a couple of big threes when they needed it, and then that just kind of kept that momentum rolling, and then they were just able to steamroll from that point on. Just incredible.
Yeah, and listen, you hear everybody talk about, all the players talk about how Coach Bickerstaff is in their ear all the time communicating. That's a big reason why he lets the players be the best version of themselves. When you see Chaz Lanier come off, hadn't played in a while, this is who he is. And if you're Coach Bickerstaff, you let those guys blossom in their natural role, and you have to put guys in position that they're going to be successful. Chaz is a shooter. Give him an opportunity to show you what he's all about, and that's exactly what the team and Bickerstaff was able to do this evening, and he paid it off. And like you mentioned, Johnny, he didn't play a whole lot, but when his number's called, give him the opportunity to be the best version of himself.
That's a great way to put it. And obviously, he fits with what they want to do. Again, rookie out of Tennessee, he's going to get more run as this thing moves along. But they loved his outside shooting coming out of Rocky Top, and obviously put it on display tonight. Chaz Lanier on command at the podium.
Not Rocky Top.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot just to be able to have the opportunity to play in the NBA and play with this great group of guys. It's a blessing to also be able to play for Coach JB. I mean, it just staying ready, that's my thing. Coaches do a great job with keeping us ready. Gives me an opportunity to really go out there and get some run and play with that group of guys, go out there, have fun, take my shots, get a lot of good looks, play hard on defense, and really just grow my game. So it's definitely a testament to playing with G League for sure.
JB talked about how pleased he was with your defensive performance tonight. I mean, how far do you feel like you've come defensively in this team that values that a lot? I mean, if you can evaluate yourself, how do you feel like you've done so far with that? Team that values that a lot. I mean, if you can evaluate yourself, how do you feel like you've done so far with that?